Hi everybody, welcome to Moonflower Studio Creative. Today we're going to make a quatrefoil pattern using some stamp brushes that I created in Procreate. The whole thing is made in Procreate. And what we're going to do is stamp this in and fit it to canvas. The canvas size is 300 dpi, 3000 by 3000 pixels square or 12 inches square. And then I'm going to go ahead and design my design, and you can see I've already done this, and you can do that on a separate layer. I'm using my monoline brush to just draw in all of my elements, and then we're going to just drop the colors into those elements. Some of the shapes here are symmetrical, and you could definitely, if you want everything perfectly symmetrical, you can do the whole design using the drawing assist, and you have 4 quadrants there, so you would do the quadrant, and then you can have everything just perfectly symmetrical on each side. But I prefer to have everything look a little bit more organic, so I draw them just freehand on each layer. You really want to keep each color layer separate so that if you want to do a different colorway, you can just change those colors out. So I'm going to do my white in a different layer, my gray in a different layer, my green in a different layer, my light green in a different layer, and every color you use, just use a different layer. All right, I'm pretty happy with my design. I use the background color, the bottom layer in Procreate, but I'm going to have to make a new layer just to have that fill color that I like. And what I want to do is add some texture now to this. We're going to add some shading to behind the flowers and on top of the flowers. And I had made a pastel brush for this that I use, and I am a pastelist, so I made some pastel brushes for Procreate, and they make a really good texture for me. It comes out light and beautiful. So what I'm doing is I'm making another layer, and I'm making it a clipping path, and then I'm going to use that to color in my texture. And I usually change that layer to multiply, so I'll use sometimes the same exact color of the color I'm using, and if I use multiply, it multiplies that color and it makes it a little bit darker and a little bit more beautiful. Right here in this clipping mask, I am just drawing in some lines and some extra just beautiful design on top of the flowers to give it like texture. So here I'm adding a new layer. I'm taking my pastel brush. I'm using the same color blue I have in the background. I'm changing that opacity to multiply, and I'm just going to go behind each one, and it really gives it that depth that we like to make these flowers really stand out. All right, I'm adding some final touches to my flowers. I'm really liking this piece, but you're gonna see in a minute after we make the pattern into a pattern. Um, I am not liking a little element, and we're gonna change it up. Make sure you duplicate your design so you don't ruin it. So we're going to take the duplicate and we are going to flatten it, and we're going to change it into a pattern. And the way you do this is you make a separate layer of each layer, 4 different layers, and you're going to drag one to each corner. And you are going to have your it's going to be on snap, the snapping on the bottom on your selection tool. It's going to be snapped and magnetic. So it just snaps right into that quadrant, and very easy to see what your pattern looks like. Now I love the pattern, except for I don't like this little section right there. It's too much of the same and too close together, so I wanted to make it a little bit more organic. So I'm going to go back to my original piece, and I'm going to erase all of those flower elements on that one section. All right, so I removed that outer edge in the light blue area, and I created 4 layers on a new document. And we're going to do what we just did by using the snapping and magnetics and move each quadrant to the corner without changing the size. Okay, now I'm going to draw in my black-eyed Susans. My inspiration came from my garden. I have black-eyed Susans, I have daisies, I have some bee balm, and it's just very pretty. And we're going to use the black-eyed Susans because we used predominantly blue in the other half of the motif, and I think the orange would be a beautiful complement. And remember to keep each color on a separate layer so that if you ever need to change the colors down the road, you can do that easily. Okay, the big reveal. So let's go ahead and duplicate that group of your new motif, and then on the second layer that you copied, just flatten it, and then we're going to do the same thing we did before, dragging each quadrant into each corner, but this time you're going to shrink it down. You're not going to keep it the same size. You're just going to pop it into that corner full size. And this way you can reveal your pattern. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like and share and leave a comment, and I would love to do more videos like this for you in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.